Hey fight fans, welcome back to the Fight Book. In this video, we're going to talk about everything that happened in the last 24 hours in the fight world so that you can stay updated with the fight world. Basically, Ilia Topuria gave an interview to Joe Rogan where he talked about his future and his potential lightweight title shot. Volkanovski also talked about his next fight against Movsar Evloev, new updates from UFC 316 and news from big potential fights. So without wasting any time, let's start from Ilia Topuria's interview. Ilia Topuria responds to Khabib Nurmagomedov and says Team Khabib knows that I will beat Islam Makhachev. Ilia says he wants this fight to happen this summer but is willing to wait until the fall to fight for the lightweight belt. Ilia also said he isn't considering other options like fighting for the #1 contendership. Ilia tells Joe Rogan that he would like the UFC to book himself against Islam Makhachev and Paddy Pimblett against Dustin. Topuria then says he will make his first defense against Pimblett because he believes Pimblett easily beats Gagey. Ilia says that the fight that excites him most is this fight against Paddy Pimblett at Santiago Bernabeu Stadium in Madrid, Spain. But as we know that Islam's current plan is to wait till UFC 316 and fight for the welterweight title if Bilal loses his belt. Joe Rogan revealed to Ilia Topuria that he with Dana White has been discussing about Islam Makhachev fighting Bilal Muhammad too, and Ilia endorsed it and says that if Bilal wins, he should fight his friend Islam Makhachev as there are many friends who have fought each other for the UFC belt. Anyway, Ilia's new Insta bio is UFC 2 Division World Champion. When he did it for the first time, we all saw he is overconfident. What you will say now? Anyway, talking about the lightweight title picture, #1 contender Arman Tsarukyan says that he believes Ilia Topuria will for sure fight for the title next. But if Islam decides to move to the welterweight division and fight the welterweight champion, and in that case if the UFC creates an interim lightweight belt, Arman believes then in that case he would be the one fighting Ilia Topuria for the interim lightweight championship. Anyway, now let's move towards Volkanovski versus Evloev. Just as promised, Alexander Volkanovski returned to Australia with the UFC featherweight title. Volkanovski is interested in a fight against Movsar Evloev as he believes it would be good for his legacy to defeat the undefeated, but is unsure if that's what the UFC fans and UFC want next. Movsar also says in an interview that Volkanovski wants to fight him and it's now up to the UFC what they decide. You are also a UFC fan, so I'm asking you, do you want Volkanovski versus Movsar Evloev next or not? Next, we have strong rumors that a banger is being added at UFC 316 card. This would be Kevin Holland versus Vicente Luque. This fight is in works but is not announced officially. For UFC 317 card on International Fight Week, Beneil Dariush versus Renato Moicano is in works. I have told you about this fight already, but now Renato Moicano confirms he has a fight coming up. 2 days ago, Beneil Dariush has said in a submission radio interview that he's been told he will fight in June and it seems like it will be Moicano. The build-up of Ian Machado Gary versus Carlos Prates is started. Ian Gary watches old footage of Carlos Prates where Prates quit during the fight and Gary calls him a quitter. Prates responds to Gary and says that we are here training while Gary is talking shit on the internet. On June 26th, I'll punch him in the mouth. And that's all from the UFC. In the boxing world, we have 5 official fight announcements and 4 are added on Keyshawn Davis versus Edwin De Los Santos undercard on June 7th. In the co-main event, WBC number 4 ranked lightweight 18-0 Abdullah Mason will return in a showcase bout against a no-one Jeremiah Nakalthia. Before the announcement of this fight, Floyd Schofield Sr. released a video confirming Kid Austin Floyd Schofield Jr. has received an offer to fight Abdullah Mason next and will accept the offer if they match his asking price of $2.5 million. As Carmel Motom says, overpricing yourself is another form of ducking. Anyway, in the 3 undercard bouts, WBO number 6 ranked middleweight 14-0 Troy Ozley will be fighting in a showcase fight, and Keyshawn Davis, both brothers 15-0 Calvin Davis and 2-0 Keon Davis will also be fighting against different opponents. Fourth and the last official fight announcement from the boxing world is a heavyweight bout that is added on Ryan Garcia versus Rolly Romero card. Japan's Reito Sutsumi, who lost just twice in 61 amateur fights, will be making his pro debut in the undercard of Garcia versus Romero. Anyway, DAZN is bundling the Fatal Fury and Canelo Skull PPVs for $90, which means you can buy Garcia Romero and Canelo Skull both cards in $90, and if you want to buy only one event, it will cost you $60. I know you would be wondering that Turki Al-Sheikh had announced that he will not charge more than $25 to the boxing fans, but now you can see he is not keeping his promise. By the way, other Fatal Fury card headlined by Chris Eubank Jr. versus Conor Ben is still $25 only. Now let's talk about some big boxing fights that are not official yet but are in works. And first is WBC flyweight champion Jesse Bam Rodriguez versus WBO flyweight champion Fumilela Khafu. Yes, Matchroom is working to get a super flyweight unification fight between Rodriguez versus Khafu in Bam's home state, Texas, for July 19th. Next is also a unification fight in the middleweight division. Talks are ongoing for a middleweight unification fight between IBF and WBO champion Janibek Alim Khanuli versus the WBC champion Carlos Adames. A welterweight title fight is also in works as Brian Norbert Jr. is rumored to make the second defense of his WBO welterweight belt against Jin Sasaki in the enemy's territory, Japan, for late June or early July. And lastly, from the boxing section, the IBF have now officially ordered a final eliminator between their number 6 ranked Filip Hrgovic against number 4 ranked Frank Sanchez. The winner of this fight will be the mandatory defense of the winner of Dubois vs Usyk 2 if that fight gets made. And in the end of the video, we have Seth Rollins challenging CM Punk to fight in the UFC. He tells Dana White to book this fight if he wants to make big money. And that's all in this video. Now you are completely up to date in the fight world. I did my job, now you do yours. Like the video, subscribe if you haven't yet, do share your thoughts in the comment section, and then do whatever you want.